All right, we're live here on YouTube. Happy Wonder Wednesday, everyone. It's the first live event of 2023. I hope you all had an amazing time celebrating with your loved ones. And I hope and I wish for you to have an amazing new year up ahead. So today, without further ado, let's get into our Gather Town. As you all know, here at Floxies Community, we use this kind of virtual metaverse where we host our live events every Wednesday. And we're a community, an international community for women in UX UI design and Webflow development. So every Wednesday, we gather here and we have our guest speakers presenting and teaching something to our community. So let me get into the space. Today's guest speaker will be Aakruti Desai. She's the founder at Puzzle. And yeah, she will be showing us how Puzzle works and how to run a successful digital business from her own perspective as a freelancer. So let me get into the space. All right, here we are. Hi, people. Hi, Carice. I haven't seen you before, so Happy New Year to you.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Maria. I haven't seen you either. Excited to see you here with us. And I was just saying, it's the first Wonder Wednesday of 2023, and we still have our Christmas tree. And that is because here in Europe, we leave the Christmas tree up until the 9th or the 6th of January. I'm not sure. I don't follow 100%, all the traditions, but I think I seem to remember we get rid of the tree around the 6th or the 9th of January. Yeah, so our guest speaker is not here yet. I was just saying, introducing her onto the YouTube, and her name is Aakruti Desai. She's the founder at Puzzle, which is a kind of management tool for freelancers. Oh, she is here. Oh, sorry. I think you got I confused you with the Christmas tree because of your your avatar. Oh, hi.
No worries. Hi. Nice to
Oh,
meet you all.
Hello.
great to have you here. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Well, then, you can tell us all about Puzzle. And, today, I know that today's talk is mostly gathered around how to run a digital business from your own perspective as a freelancer as well. And we've met in San Francisco during the Webflow Conf. Really happy, to see you in person. And even before that, we had chatted about Puzzle and all the amazing projects that you're working on. So it's our pleasure to have you here with us today. And because we have a lot of freelancers in our community, I thought that this could tie really well with what we're doing as well.
Yeah, of course. I have like a slide deck, although it's kind of bare bones. It was kind of really just for me to like have an idea of what we were talking about. So, because I like to talk more than read off the slides. So, if it's okay, I think I'll just kind of like read it off on my end so I can kind of have a pace and then just like have more of a conversation. Yeah, okay, well, thank you all for having me. Again, my name is Aakruti. My background is that I used to run my own design agency, and it was more of kind of a graphic design, social media strategy agency that my current co-founder and I started when in our small town we saw a lot of small businesses in the area shut down due to COVID. And one of the things that made it painfully clear that they were struggling was they didn't really have an online presence, and they didn't have an kind of an online sales avenue for them to recover all of the lost profits and revenue that they were suffering from. So we came in and kind of helped them build that. It was super rewarding, super in demand, and paid really, really well. And I left it because I was kind of facing this invisible wall of getting to a point where I wanted to take my agency to the next level, start hiring subcontractors, hiring employees, and have like a business that was a little bit more efficient. And I wasn't able to achieve that with my current existing setup of just a bunch of different free tools jumbled together, me spending a lot of my manual time doing that kind of admin instead of really the creative work, which is what we all set out to do. And so that was one of the reasons that I quit. And during my hiatus, I was kind of just bouncing around from idea to idea, and I came across this startup, which was a natural progression point from what I was building. It was kind of just a social media management as a service business, which tied in well with what I was doing as an agency owner. And there I also learned that workflow, scaling, and efficiency was an issue. So I realized this is not an issue that's exclusive to digital service businesses or agencies or freelancers. And I quickly was able to solve that problem through tools that you guys may have heard of, like Linear or Raycast or Superhuman, just these like beautiful, functional, and really like opinionated, well-solving tools. And I kind of looked back to my agency days and I was like, why isn't there one like that? And that's kind of what led me to create Puzzle, which in a one sentence is kind of like this like perfect work tool that's really made for these kinds of digital service businesses. So we do like everything from client onboarding, payments, and like task management. So it's kind of like really oriented towards that kind of area. So yeah, I just wanted to spend this time kind of talking about what a digital service business is, how to start one if you are maybe thinking of starting one. I know everyone in January is always thinking about their New Year's resolutions. So if your New Year's resolution is to start a side hustle, then this could be helpful, as well as just like the progression of from starting a digital service business to running one to eventually scaling, and what that all entails. Yeah, so as for what a digital service business is, it has a few important parts of it. One, it's usually async first. So it's usually not like an in-person kind of gig. And that kind of rules out like event planners, photographers. Next, it has near zero startup costs. So if any of you are freelancers or agency owners, you probably know that when you first started out, you were just able to get on Figma for free, get on Webflow probably for free during their free plan, and deliver something of quality to your client without really any like upfront capital, which is one of the best parts about the business. Kind of lets a lot of people try it out. And then the main thing is that it's digital deliverables. So things like that would be product designs like UX, UI, also like Webflow websites or Webflow apps. I know that's a thing now. Even like graphic design or rebranding. Those kinds of areas are really where like a digital deliverable is most common, and they're the most like creative. And then also just like being more on a per project basis. I know there's types of digital service businesses that go into a team and they kind of like substitute for a team. Those are more like fractional people, maybe not exactly kind of like the audience that is really able to quickly start up and get hired by a per project basis. And so when you're kind of like starting out, there's a few things that you kind of go for. First, you're kind of deciding what am I good at? What skill am I good at? So a lot of people on Twitter lean into things like copywriting or Webflow development and design. And so those kind of require a few key things to learn, like Figma or whatever specific tool that is involved in your craft. Then it usually involves going onto marketplaces like Fiverr and Upwork, and then also maybe cold pitching to nearby businesses or to your network of businesses, as well as doing like case studies. I know I did when I was starting out. I like went on Instagram, found these design briefs accounts where they basically post fake businesses, and you're able to kind of do a rebrand for them or make a website for them, and then you post it, and everyone's like posting their own idea of what this random company could be. So it's very fun, and it also is a really great way to show your client, hey, I'm experienced, even though no one has given me a chance yet. Kind of gives you a way to practice your skills as well. And then also just getting your system set up. So like I said, it's usually like a jumble of a bunch of free tools like Notion and Calendly, DocuSign, PayPal, Airtable, things like that. And it requires a lot of maintenance manually on your end.
So was that what you were using before, or yeah, is that what you were kind of basing your businesses on, like trying with all these tools to manage your business?
Yes, yes. I believe I never had one client that had the same set of tools that I would use for them. It would change for every client.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of the things that I realized. I was like, this is taking a lot more time for every single client, because I would try out like new tools, or if they had like a specific, like I need to pay by this method, so then I couldn't do like a wire transfer or PayPal. I had to figure something else out. And that's one of the issues that you have when you're doing like more of an async first business model, where you're not able to meet with them, and likely you've only talked to them a few times, but they're still paying you a lot of money and you have to deliver. And so that was something I was struggling with, having like my workflow be a little bit more standardized, so it would enable me to have, spend more time on the creative process, which is what they're paying me for, but also get more people involved, like hire more people, expand my services, raise my rates, make more money. And I think that like inflection point of going from starting out to like really running your business is difficult when you don't have like a really solid amount of tools around you.
So did you find a solution to that?
Yes, I did. It was puzzle, and I let me see if I can maybe show you guys, because we're in beta right now.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it a lot of people really like a few of the features that we have, because it's unlike what they probably use on like Slack or Notion with their clients. Let me see if I'm able to share screen. Are you guys able to see this?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is kind of the tool itself. This is like the home page. We have a few really cool things. So one, you're actually able to sell your services straight from your bio. So you guys have probably really seen the productized trend go on a lot on Twitter, where people have packages. It's really easy to do that. You kind of just go on here and you create a package. So this one's like a Webflow Development package for $10,000. You can actually charge like 50% up front. And the cool thing about this is this is a live website that we generate for everybody. So if you actually open it, people have put this in their bio, and you can like click get started. Clients kind of just fill out this information, and then the next step is just a Stripe checkout link, and they like pay. And the nice thing about it is, as a freelancer, you kind of know like this is a more serious client that really does want my services, but they don't get charged unless you approve them as a client. But it does make the onboarding process a lot faster. There's also a way for you to actually embed this into your website. So people have really liked this. You can put this link behind a button, or you can actually embed the entire thing on your site. And it's really great for those productized packages if that was something that you're doing. Although I know that's not usually the main case. So we have another way to do it, which is kind of just you click new project, and you go through this section. Basically, what we like to call this is like the onboarding. So you just input this information. Again, you can put in the amount of money. You can make it a monthly charge if it's like a maintenance client, or a one-time charge, and kind of see like how much you want to charge up front. Put in your documents and stuff and click send. Then one of these little portals is generated for you, and that's kind of all the onboarding you have to do. So it's very simple. On your client's end, they get an email where they have to go through 3 steps. First, they have to like view and agree to your documents. It's just like a view thing. We have a checkbox at the bottom where you just agree to it. And once you do that, both parties get a certified copy of the document. Then they pay if there is anything upfront to pay. And then they kind of get onto this project portal. We actually ask them to like connect either their Slack or their email to it, because this is kind of the project portal, and it's all web-based, so they don't need to download anything. They don't even need to really remember the URL, because they'll get notifications depending on what they chose on Slack or on email when they have an unread messages. So yeah, that's kind of this is what it is. It's very chat-like, so it's like pretty fast and what you'd expect. We have a few cool things in it. Like, I know most of us, if not all of us, use Figma, and it's kind of annoying to maybe make your client go back and forth between Figma and like however else they're communicating with you. Especially if they don't know how to use Figma that well, or if you really want their opinion on like one specific thing. So we have this really cool thing where you're able to just paste the link of the Figma thing that you want them to see, and they're actually able to like view it live in the chat. So it makes it really, really helpful and
Can they interact with it? Is it an embed?
Yeah. So that's something that we're working on, like letting them go in and be like, can you do this?
Adding a comment. Yeah.
Yeah, but right now we have comments, so you're able to just like click comment, write something, and then if you wanted to, you could actually be like, I don't like the color of this, and now these kinds of like vague stuff is actually a lot more clear because it's in context with something, and you are even able to just turn it into a task. And if you saw, when tasks come up, they show up over here. This is kind of like a Trello board, if you're familiar with that. Yeah. And the nice thing about it is you and your client are kind of always on the same page with the status of the project. So you're even able to kind of just move it down in progress. You'll see the in progress stuff kind of, it'll show up as like a notification that it was moved, as well as for completed. And that way everything is really clear on how everything's working. You can also use this just for your own internal tasks if you have like a few tasks that you need to do before you're able to get to the deliverable for the client. People have used it for that. People have even used it to assign their clients homework, if you will, kind of like send me your brand kit, comment on this, things like that. So it's really, really interactive and made for digital service businesses.
Have you used it already for a client?
Yeah, we have plenty of people on here. A lot of Webflow developers, a lot of product designers, a lot of branders, a lot of designers. I think we have plenty of them on here. I've also used it as a client. I've hired a Webflow developer, I think just earlier this week, and we've been using it, and it's really fun. It's a really great client experience. And I think that's one of the main things that we as like freelancers and agencies really care about, because it can be the best tool for you, but if it's not good for your client, you're not going to use it. And that was one of our main and like really important things that we wanted to make it so like the client liked it. It was like zero stress for the client, and it was still something that worked really well for both audiences. Like you felt like you were really getting your work done.
How would you say it has optimized your old way of doing things? Like, say, for example, you were mentioning the different stack of tools. I guess you still need a different stack of tools for each client, because this is mostly for communication.
Yeah, well, we kind of do more than that. So one of the cool things about this is you're even able to, so what I was showing you was kind of, we did onboarding for you.
Yeah.
We did chat for you, project management for you. So that already cuts out probably like most of your tools. But one other tool that probably most people are caring about is the payments section of it. And so, like I said, when you put in like a deposit amount, they'll pay through Stripe, and you'll actually be able to see all of your payments right here. And it'll be an automated thing, so you don't even need to chase them for an invoice. But then when you complete the project, you're even able to just click this button, complete. And when you do that, it'll charge the client the remaining amount. So there is no like chasing invoices. That's not a thing. It's very automatic, and it's a very like I think the main important thing is it's very clear to your clients, like when the project is done, it's done. Because I'm sure there are cases of scope creep where, you know, the project's already done and then they're coming back to you to try to do something for free, and that's not, you know, good. So when that happens, this entire thing actually becomes like a static page. So it's still viewable, but you can't type in it anymore. And that was on purpose, right? From my experiences and from a lot of other people's experiences with it. And then even if scope creep does happen in the middle of the project and you want to, and both of you guys agree that you want to do it, it's really easy to charge them. You just invoice them the additional amount. So we kind of really thought of like the main things that you'd need for like, you know, for this kind of work experience. And the coolest thing about it is we've raised money earlier this year, and as like a younger startup, one of our favorite things to do is come out with new features like all the time. So we've had like a running streak since we launched in early November of coming out with a new feature every Friday or every Monday. And it's really great because we're able to update everybody on it. And I want to make it clear that like the new features aren't really popular, more like stuff that you have to click through in your menu bar or anything, because I know that's one of the issues with the existing work tools out there. It's very hard to navigate and it feels like they trapped you in there to spend a lot of time there. It's more just like elevating the core things that are there and just making it more powerful. So one of the things that we're working on, it's coming out mid-January, is actually making the tasks really, really powerful. So being able to click in, have sub issues, assign them to people, have internal tasks that the client doesn't get to see, and just small things like that. We have a very, very long roadmap that we're all trying to achieve. And so far the feedback has been fairly positive, and a lot of the things that people have been requesting in the tool are coming very, very soon.
Cool. How do you manage kind of dispute? You know, if say the client doesn't want to pay for whatever reason, do you have how do you manage that? Do you have a support, or is your money protected? How do you manage that?
Yeah, great question. That's one of the reasons that we chose to integrate with Stripe. We weren't able to yet build out our own like payment solution, although that's coming soon. And because of Stripe, it's a lot more secure. You're able to talk about your disputes with them, and they manage it really well. So that was one of the things that also like made people feel a lot safer, because a lot of people have already been using Stripe, and it's a good company for those kinds of things. But yeah, we also encourage people to do like the documents in the beginning. We're actually coming out this Friday with a whole like proposal sending and editing and contract sending and editing capabilities. So in that, we encourage people to keep a good payment schedule in line and everything. And that usually deters most cases anyway.
So I'm reading the chat. Maria is asking, and I'm going to encourage everyone here, because I know that we have a lot of freelancers in the community, or just people that run their own agencies and businesses. So feel free to drop your questions here. So Maria is asking, what about being paid through, for example, Wise, and how is localization? Does that mean, Maria, that you're asking about Europe? Like, are you able to get paid anywhere in the world?
Yes, because, okay, I'm usually here in Greece. Hi.
Hi, Maria. Happy New Year.
I think we met in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in Greece, so we have like the systems a little bit different. For example, when I get paid, I invoice someone. It needs to connect to the department of like economics. So I'm using a service here, and it has a dashboard and everything. So when basically they have an API thing, I don't know how they did it. It's very specific, and they have to have permission to connect or whatever. Anyway, I have this kind of very specific things I need to do, that usually things that they're not from here, it's not included. Also, India has the same, I found out lately. So it's weird. and yeah, I'm just thinking, like,
No, I get it. Yeah. A lot
yeah.
of people have been using tools like Wise and other tools to kind of accept payments. Right now, Stripe is the only one that we integrate with. We did that mostly because most of our like people on our wait list, most of them were using Stripe, so it seemed like the next natural step. Also, it's free to make an account, and it's more like a consumer facing tool, as in like the freelancer is usually the one that sets it up. When you're in the case of like your client is suggesting that you use this one specific tool to pay them, I've been in that situation too. That's kind of something else that we're working on, where you're able to kind of remove yourself from the payments process and kind of just do like set up an onboarding and like a task manager for yourself with those kinds of clients. But yeah, I get it. That happens a lot. On our end, what we're working on is actually moving away from Stripe and like other tools soon. It's going to be a while, but soon. That's something that's on our roadmap, and just making it so there's like one like bank, if you will, where you're able to have like commissionless like transactions with your clients, and you're able to keep it in your like puzzle bank and be able to pay out your contractors and stuff with it. So that's coming soon. But yeah, I know I'm unfortunately we don't integrate with Wise, which sucks. But
Yeah. That's why I'm like
similar.
Yuna said, a lot of places are not. They don't have Stripe. I do, but like Yuna says, they don't have in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Israel doesn't have, I think, Stripe.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
know,
weird.
I know. There's been a lot of people on our wait list.
And I don't know if it's the whole Europe, but many of us it's very convenient to use SEPA, like it's the interbank whatever thing. So transfer wise, it's because they send it to my account, it makes it more transparent, and that's why it's the international thing, I found it easier for us here to be paid through Wise or a similar service, because the fees are not there. They have less commissions. But then again, when I was talking about localization, it was almost also like stupid things, like how is the format of the dates for people, currencies, like it's things that sometimes startups and like businesses from the States don't consider, because, well, you're a big market and it's a little bit probably out of your scope initially. I'm just like throwing it in there.
No, it's
I
a
get
very
it.
fair,
So,
it's a fair point, because
yeah.
there's, especially here, we're less US based, or at least we're more diverse as a community, and this is one of the question, it often comes up, whenever there's a new service, a new product, we always feel like, hey, what about us?
Yeah.
And GDPR is a thing.
Yeah.
Yuna,
So,
did you have a question as well?
no,
Thank
I
you,
just
Marie.
want to add like time zone too. Sometimes it have time zone that shows the time of the freelancer or the client, so we know each other's time zone to respect each other's hours. I also ask about the fee to use the platform. Is there any fee to use the platform or to receive payment or to send payment?
Yeah, great questions. Well, first, the time zone thing, that's a really good idea. We had not thought of that, so I will write that down for our feature log. That's one of the things I love about talking with people, is I get like new ideas and everything. As for a fee, right now we're in beta, so it's free to use. You're able to use it to its fullest extent. I think eventually we're going to be charging like a monthly subscription, and we are not charging any like commission for receiving money. I know Stripe already charges a little bit for it. Like I said, we're moving away from Stripe, and we are like commissionless all the way, mainly because when I was receiving payments, I always hated that I had to pay some commissions to a payment provider. So yeah.
Cool. I guess you can add our community to your beta
And
testers.
maybe in the future it could be a beta for internationals.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that it's just because the like we raised money earlier in like May, and then we just were able to come out in November. So like even the startup costs, I mean this like the startup like time and like development time just to get it out, even for like states in like North America kind of, was so long. But I promise you, yeah, we have a lot of international users already on it, but they're mainly situated in like Canada and UK. Again, because Stripe works really well there, and you tend to deal with a lot more like US clients, so you're able to put in like your price in US dollars, but because it's Stripe, they'll pay you out in your currency and everything. But yes, that's on our radar because we have plenty of international users on our wait list.
I'm offering myself to suggest things for like this part of Europe.
Yeah,
Yes,
Maria
of
gives
course.
Great feedback.
Yes, thank you.
We also have a lot of people here based in the US as well. So if any of you would like to ask any questions, feel free to. You have another question. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to add PayPal as an option because most of platform is using it, and it is mostly widely used. Although I'm not personally using it, but it might be helpful for others.
Yeah, definitely. That's also, yeah, I think we're thinking of in the meantime when we're trying to move away from Stripe is like integrating with other tools that are more international friendly.
Cool. And in terms of running your own kind of digital business, what would you say was one of the biggest challenge you had to face? Because I'm not gonna ask your age, but I can sense you're very, very young. So I'm impressed, and congratulations on raising money for Puzzle, and the project that you're building is very exciting. But I'm sure, as you were saying, you had a lot of like really successful clients before, and they were paying really well during the pandemic, and so I admire your courage of leaving that kind of stable or very, very good profitable situation into launching your own project. Yeah, what was one of the biggest challenges you had to face?
Like when leaving it?
Yeah, or just like, yeah, what did you find
Yeah.
really, what could you advice to somebody that is maybe thinking of leaving their own situation or starting their own business or moving into freelancing?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was not prepared for how much rejection I would face. I think like even in like a digital service business, I'm sure you guys know you probably get rejected all the time from your cold pitches and everything. But I think like when I was building this idea of Puzzle, I had like a very clear idea of it, and I remember it was like probably 20 renditions ago from what it looks like now. It looks very different now, and I think I would get like a situation because like creatives, you kind of like fall in love with your idea and then you're like, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. And so a lot of the times when I would go in like meetings with investors or advisors and stuff like that, they would be like, how would this work? How would this work? And I would get rejected, but it would actually force me to think of like, how can I make this better? And force me to like go back into my agency mindset and look at it from that perspective. Find people on Twitter that are willing to try out. I think we had like an alpha a few months ago that we had people on Twitter try out, and things like that. Just like putting myself out there and knowing that I would get rejected, but hoping that I wouldn't. And I think that eventually has like caught up to where most people are asking me for the beta and they're happy to get onboarded. So it was a good, full circle moment. But I'm really happy that I was able to face that rejection because it made me think of like a really, really good product. And even now when we're thinking of ideas and like sharing what our vision is for the future, we even get like more suggestions like we had here today, and it just makes us just a better product. So yeah, but I guess that's
For
something I'm
sure,
prepared
for sure.
for.
I think one of the most interesting aspects of it as well is to create that kind of link, that bio at the beginning. Is there an option to add your own portfolio? Say, for example, I'm advertising for whatever service it is, like community consultancy or design. How does a client see what I'm able to do? Like, do you have a gallery, or because it's really cool to have all your services kind of similar to Linktree, but you
Yeah.
have your services and people can book you straight away. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, over here we have a place for you to insert like projects, so you're able to upload like a photo of it,
Okay.
or you're also able to just put in your external links. So someone that has like a lot of links usually has one of their external links be like their services site. So that's kind of where we're at right now. This is something that we're working on revamping in the future, making it like a little bit like more like in tune with the design of the rest of the tool, and also a little bit more showcasey. So that's coming soon. But for now, those are kind of the options that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's nice. And it's all customizable. Like you can you can design it, or
Right now, it's not designable. That's something else that we're working on. I know like Linktree lets you choose like backgrounds and stuff
yeah.
like that. So yes, that'll come soon. For now, we kind of had like the basic stuff that a lot of people were asking for, like especially people that are like moving away from marketplaces and building up their personal brand on Twitter or LinkedIn. So we even have like a place over here for you to have those socials readily available. Also, because I think a lot of people share their work on those socials, so it's also like a 2-in-1. Like you're able to just get your work seen by other people, while also validating that, oh, okay, this person does have a social following and they are good at their job and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool
Yeah.
because I haven't seen a platform where you can just advertise your services and book them straight away. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an advanced Linktree for work, which
Yes,
is
kind of. Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Mirella and Lauren are leaving us. Bye, girls. So yeah, that's really great. So thank you so much for showing us. Let me see if there's any questions here around the community. People that are working, especially as a freelancer or thinking of starting their own business. Do you have any particular questions you'd like to ask, either about the product or just about running your own business as a freelancer? Feel free to just drop them in the chat or just come onto your mics if you do. Gonna look around the room. Okay, maybe not. All right. Well, so what's the next feature that we can expect from you guys?
I think it's probably going to be like a really, really good proposal sharing and contract signing feature. Like we're working on it right now. It's coming out on Friday, but you're able to kind of like drop in a PDF or even like and edit it in the tool. And then, so I know a lot of people have like PDF templates of like what their proposal looks like or what their contracts look like, but it's annoying to go back and change it for like the specific client and the specific deliverables and stuff. So we have one where you're able to just drop that in, edit it as you need, and then send it. And one of the best parts about it is we made it a more of like an intelligent proposal. So as in you send the proposal to your client, it gets automatically sent via email. When the client views it and they click accept to the proposal, they're automatically moved on to the entire onboarding process. So they're agreeing to the contract terms, they're paying anything up front if there is anything, and then they're getting onto the client portal, because it's ridiculous to have to keep doing that email tennis back and forth for a proposal that both parties have already agreed to. And if they decline it, it's really easy to go in, edit, and send back out. So that's one of the things I think my goal, especially this year, is just making everyone on our tool have a very, very high conversion from lead to client. Like have that be near 100%, because I think what's really holding people back is just having a tool that helps them do that. So like selling services from your bio, like you mentioned, or just getting it done. Like when someone accepts a proposal and they're ready to work with you, let's get them onto the portal to work with you, you know? So I guess just things like that is everything that we implement in. We have like tested, thought of months before, and we have confirmed that it does achieve our mission of just helping people, everyone on the tool, just be, you know, more efficient with their work, create more, because that should be what you're spending most of your time on, and have really good, high quality clients that want to work with them and are excited to work with them.
Mm-hmm. And that's really great. And, you know, all of that, I guess, was also made possible because of the funding that you got at the very early stages. And as somebody that might want to start their own product, their own business, how can you give us a bit of advice on how did you find that funding? How did you find the investor? What are some tips that you can share here with our people that might be interested in that?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have any connections in the investment industry. So if you do, you will probably have a very, very easy time just getting at least your first initial amount of capital. But there always comes a point where if you want to raise a large amount, like I raised $600,000, you will need someone like a venture capital firm or somebody to come in and put in most of the money. And so for that, I think I just did a lot of Twitter networking, and I sent hundreds, if not thousands, of cold emails all the time. I would get rejections like from people just straight from the email. They'd be like, either they'd be like out of office, which means like venture capitalists take long breaks. So if they're out of office, they're likely out of office for a really long time. So you're not going to hear back from them. Or they would just kind of like really quickly go through the deck and be like, not a fit, and just move on. So a lot of the times I would be like, why are they rejecting me? Like, I don't even know why. But honestly, it really just takes like this one yes. I remember I found a spreadsheet that an old founder that had raised a few million shared with me and my co-founder, and we went through the entire list, deleted people that wouldn't be a good fit, and then emailed every single person on the list. And I remember like I did it in a Starbucks when it was like super busy, and I was just wanting to get this done. And I think there was like at least 500 people on that list. Only one person responded, and that one person was like the first major check that we got. So I think it was just a lot of hard work, but once you start getting your first few major checks in, they all come really, really fast. Like I was able to close that entire amount in a month, even though I had been trying for 2.5 months prior. So I guess that's kind of a long way of saying just like keep trying, because it's super, super draining. But when you get that money and you're able to build this tool that now I see people like get on it and their faces light up and it's like the best feeling in the world, it makes it all worth it. So just keep trying. If you're making something that you feel like a lot of people will really, really love using, it's worth it. It's worth all the effort you're putting in now.
Yes, and I think that's a really good tip. You know, if you're passionate about something, just keep up your determination. And as you mentioned, it might be 500 emails, but you only need one yes, and then it will potentially open up many more doors. So yeah. Rachel is saying, always love when multiple streams are combined into one. Thanks for sharing and presenting. My only hang up for joining would be moving to a separate system for invoicing. Makes tax time confusing, but excited to try it out.
Yeah, no, I get it. A lot of people have this like the feeling of like the taxes makes it a little bit confusing since you're invoicing in a separate pool. I think Stripe, you're not only, we have a place where you're able to view all of your invoices in one place, and that was just for like help of like really quick, like easy access. And I think I would love to show it to you. Hold on. And we have a place where you're even able to kind of like go in, and these are like all of the ones that have been automated through the platform, and also all the ones that you have initiated. They're all like live invoices through Stripe as well. And this is helpful because you're able to like download invoices and send if necessary, but also you're able to still access all of this on your own Stripe dashboard. So a lot of people just add their accountant on their dashboard. And it's very similar to just adding your accountant on your QuickBooks. So that would probably solve your concerns. And it's free to make a Stripe account. They have a lot of resources online. So also happy to help you find those resources. But yeah, it hasn't been a problem for people that have been wanting to like report it to their accountant or report it for taxes. It hasn't really been a problem once because Stripe's behind it, so it's a lot easier for you to trust a platform like this.
Great. Well, can you share a link with us later,
Yes,
privately, for
I
our
will.
community to try it out?
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it and then I'll send it. And also, yeah, I would be more than happy to onboard anyone in this room, anyone in Floxies, of course. I shared the sign up waitlist link, and
Yeah.
I think I already saw someone sign up. But yeah, if you haven't already, like copy paste it again in the chat, and then I'll also send it in the main chat for the people that left already.
Yes.
So you guys get it too. But yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here and, obviously for offering the product as well. We'd be more than happy to try it out. As you can see, we have lots of feedback for you already. So
I know, and it's so helpful.
That's been really great. And I'm really happy that you're part of our community as well. I hope, it's inspiring to see your journey and, the whole switch and the whole embarking onto your own business. So it's really inspiring. And I guess that's what our community is also great for, having people like you to keep inspiring other women to do the same and supporting one another. So thank you for everything you're doing and for being here with us today. And I guess I'll see you around in our Discord.
Yes, thank you for having me on. I love this community, and you guys are like a cute little family. Everyone is always like liking stuff on Twitter, so I love it. I also love this Wonder Wednesday. I haven't been able to come to many, but I think the last one I came to was the Emily Lynetto one. But I'm gonna try to come to more this year.
Amazing. Well, next week I think we're going to be discussing a bit of AI and Web3, so like very hot topics. So yeah, that's going to be.
I'll see if I have time, but yes, I will do my best to make it.
Very excited for 2023 to start off again.
Yes.
And I wanted to add, your office is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I'm not in it right now.
I know, but it's gorgeous. Like seriously gorgeous.
Yes. If you guys are ever in SF, any of you, let me know. We do like co-working with like anyone in the Bay Area. So I've co-worked with a few of our users before. It's super fun. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you next week. I'm just gonna close the live. So goodbye, YouTube. And I'm gonna stick around here on Gather.